What's poppin', everyone? Welcome to another episode of Remember When. My name is Jose. With me today are my boys Mir and Johnny. Say what's up, guys.
Hey, hey, hey.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, man.
Today, we're here to answer the age-old question, dub versus sub.
Dub.
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 In this case,
Dub.
dub.
Right? Okay, it depends on the anime. If it's an action anime, dub. If it's a, more plot-driven, maybe more down-to-earth, we'll go sub. I don't mind. Because I hate when things are going on in action, like One Punch Man. I hate reading the subtitles. Meanwhile, we got some beautiful animation going on in the background. It's like, nigga, I gotta watch this twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want
Which one is more important?
What do you mean?
The plot or the action? Basically, that's what you said.
Both? Oh, why can't I have both? Porque no los dos. But I mean, I want best of both worlds. I mean, I want good plot, but if there's some badass action going on, bro, I want to at least listen to what they saying, bro, especially if they naming out their moves, like if it's like Baki or some shit.
That's what I mean, though, because sometimes, there's, some really bad translations into dub, and it's like, I don't even know where this story's going, because there's, so many gaps now.
I see what you mean, but I mean, it's only, older anime where I'll say that's, probably the biggest.
Yeah, nowadays, it's not nearly as big of a problem, but definitely, 80s and 90s anime.
Mm-hmm.
If you said sub, you're 100% right. I would have zero challenge to that in that time period.
Yeah, but I mean, there's certain exceptions. Yu Yu Hakusho, easily dub over sub. I don't even want to watch that show subbed because the way that show is dubbed, beautiful. It's that's the voices I imagine for them characters.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Samurai Champloo. That's a beautiful dub.
Yeah, that's also a really good one. That's a good call. Yeah, so I think for me, yeah. I guess, so question for you guys. Say you watch a show in the sub, right? And that sub character has we'll say an English accent or a Jamaican accent or a Haitian accent. Can you hear that when you're watching an anime in the sub? Because that's my argument for dub is that I can hear an English speaker have a native accent, right? Versus when I'm watching it and it's in Japanese. I don't know what a Japanese Haitian sounds like. I don't know what a Japanese Mexican sounds like. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think they usually do have a particular accent because I assume they're fluent in Japanese and that might be their primary language. Right. But a lot of times it's how they always put up Americans. It's some dude with a do-rag like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you just have someone that's full out Americanized and all that.
Yeah.
Or even when it comes to black folks with I don't know, Jujutsu Kaisen or something like that. Not the old anime that did us dirty, but now they'll just have hella very likely, whatever that race is features, but
right.
Sound-wise, you can't really tell.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
What they're saying-wise, yeah, you could tell it's different from someone that's Japanese versus someone that's black or even Middle Eastern or something like that.
Yeah, that's always been my argument for dub is that I want to be able to hear that distinction in voices and characters, right? Because if I'm watching the sub, right, and a character has an Irish accent, I'm not gonna lie. The Japanese to me isn't gonna sound like Irish Japanese. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's always been my argument for why I prefer listening to dub is that I can make those kind of distinctions because unfortunately I'm naive to the language. I don't know it like that. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah.
Can't blame us. Don't yell at us if we like dub over sub, man. I know it's a hot debate that's been spanning on for centuries, but like what you like. If you like dub, if you like sub. I don't give a damn.
Let us know in the comments if you're watching this, which you prefer, dub or sub.
Yeah. Do you prefer us dub or subbed?
Yeah.
Because I definitely prefer sub, but that's only because I'll watch stuff before it gets translated.
That's the only reason why I would prefer sub.
Because otherwise I would prefer the dub, but also if I started sub, it's kind of hard to go back and just rewatch and dub. I already know what's happening, so there's no point.
Yeah, if you're impatient, then dub is always the worst choice because it's always gonna come out maybe 1 year later, unless it's a really popular anime maybe My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen on that level. You're not gonna get the dub episodes until way later. So you're just sitting there One Piece.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there man, I can't. I'm going sub. Fuck it.
Actually, that's how it was for Dragon Ball Super for me.
Yeah.
Because I'd watched it when the sub was coming out. It wasn't until a year and a half later, some crazy that, when everybody was oh, you see that fight? I'm bro, you're so behind.
You're so behind.
I'm I watched that on the Sunday when it came out, Japanese, everything, bro. Yeah. It's actually funny. So, to your point, don't start with the dub. I think so I'd watched Fairy Tale for the first time. It was like, I think when I had Hulu at the time, right? For whatever reason, it was like dub for 4 seasons, then it was sub for like 2 seasons, and then goes back to the dub for like the last like 2 seasons. And so like by the time I got used to the sub, it went back to the dub, and I was like, "What's this shit?" Like I actually got mad at it.
That is
like,
interesting. I wonder if they really ran out of money
Isn't
to
that-
like translate it over.
Isn't that weird? Like I don't know if that was just how it.
Because
I loaded to
I know
Hulu.
Fairy Tale is like pretty popular, but I also know it's a shonen, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also know a lot of shonen sometimes like Naruto, like it just doesn't make enough money, and for a hot second, like the quality of whatever the heck it is drops, and
Yeah.
that might be where it just dropped. Is like the translations, they just never got to it, unless if they just lost the shit.
Well, I feel like it definitely had, because here's my sense of it. If the last 2 seasons are dubbed, how are you going to have like 2 seasons that are just skipped out on the dub? You feel me? Because then that's incomplete for whoever
I
the
wouldn't
dubbed
like that,
audience
though.
is.
I really
much-
wouldn't. That would kind of ruin my experience because, like I said, I
It
hate switching over.
It
but
threw me off so much, but like I was deep into the show at that point, so I'm just like,
Fuck it.
whatever, I
Bro, at
guess
this
we
point-
rolling with. But like hearing like Happy's voice from like English to the to Japanese, I was just like, what the shit just happened? Like it threw me off so badly, bro. Like I wish you could have seen my face the day that I was like listening to it. I was just like. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the hell, Hulu?
At that point, I was just blame Hulu. At that point, I'd be like,
I'm pretty sure it was just like a Hulu thing, but still,
That would make more sense.
it was just annoying because, like, to your point, like, why would you want to do that? It's
Yeah.
like, just stick with it. Just stick with whatever it is. Yeah. But so today we're talking about probably the most famous anime dub of all time.
yeah, the sub is majorly irrelevant for this show.
The sub
It
is
makes it
so
ass.
the sub is so irrelevant that after the dub came out in Japan, they aired the dub with Japanese subtitles, even though this show was originally Japanese. So
Yeah.
that should tell you everything you need to know right there. We are talking about ghost stories.
That's right. When this John initially came out, even Japan didn't like it, bro. It was just, if you literally just watch this show based off the subtitles, it's the most generic shit. Like it's literally, oh, hey, there's a ghost, there's like a old school that's haunted, and it's right next to this new pristine school. And oh, this girl, her mother was a ghost hunter, but oh, she died somehow. So now, oh, hey, look, it's a book of ghosts that the mother wrote. And now it looks like the child's following the footsteps. And with her wacky individual friends, they're going to solve all the ghost mysteries. Does that sound enticing? Yeah.
Has it been done 1,000 times?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing to stand out? Nothing? Okay, cool. Yeah, we don't like the show. Like, Japan didn't like this show at all. And it was such a failure that at that point, it got, like, they threw they're like, okay, we'll send this show to this studio. And you know what? Do whatever you want. As long as you keep the main plot and the character names the same, that's cool. Everything else, do whatever you want. Do whatever you need to do to sell the show.
Say whatever you want to say.
Say anything you want to say. And the main man behind the whole thing, Stephen Forrester, he took that to heart because he literally said, they just gave it to me. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. And they did. Like, if you thought that this stuff was ad-libbed, half of it might as well be.
Probably because it was. That's the
definitely
honest answer. That's the honest answer.
It definitely was, because the way that they did this thing was an actor would go in and set the tone for the scene. So they would do their lines, and then the other actors would come in and say, and literally they have to like go off of what the other actors did. So literally they'll probably like go with the scene or just do their own thing. It's that kind of show. So just by off that basis, this show is incredible.
It's giant improv is really what it is.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it's so like of its age.
You could tell, like, what you were just saying, like, how it's, like, one person goes after the other. Like, because one of my favorite episodes, I remember something happened, something bright basically occurs. And then one person says, like, oh, my God, it's happening. Oh, shit. And then one was like, the light.
There was one scene, I forget. It was like they were running into it was the ghost that would mimic someone's voice, and then they would like go to the house, and like the main character, like they were like running to a police station. It was the mirror episode. My bad. But they were going to a police station, and the girl talked so fast. She's like, my mother, my father, my brother, and like they're all turned into like mirrors. And then the dude was like, like talking gibberish.
It's like It was wild. You're just like, what?
It's
And
straight gibberish.
That's all that man heard.
that's my this show. I'm not gonna lie, like we've covered stuff where like the hype like does meet it kind of thing. I don't think this hype meets up to it for me. Like it really doesn't, because like if you take the show out of context, funniest thing you will ever see in your life. Like if you just watch a YouTube video of like clips of this show, you're gonna cry, because you're just like, what the hell does that relate to? Like what context is that in? If you have zero context, it's a pretty funny show. When you have context, it's not that good. The jokes don't land the same way to me, right?
It's pretty boring.
So boring.
Very boring. Like
show is very boring.
The need to skip parts is real sometimes, but at the same time, knowing that they say funny shit, I know sometimes if you skip like 15 seconds, that might make or break the whole episode low key. Because the shit they say is so random. That usual pan that they do, where it's just showing the area, and then someone just makes the most out of pocket joke or comment. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
yo, there was I forget what episode it was, but there were like these two dudes that it's literally like the main characters are in the background, and then these two kids just run up, and I don't even know if they even had like lines in the sub version, but they walk by and they're like, "Yo, lunchtime BJ." He's like, "Oh hell yeah." I'm like, wait, whoa, rewind. What did you say? Like, what was that?
Just showing the whole classroom. Hey, you want to get high?
Yo,
Irie, man. Fucking hell.
Like, this is the dub turns these dudes into like, because these are all kids. They're like, I don't know, like fifth graders, like middle schoolers around that age, and it turns them into like adults. Like, they're just talking about like, yo, you want to get high after school? It's like, yo, I'm not gonna forgive you for smoking that pack. You owe me. Like, what?
Man, just blabbing about the plot. This man is high as hell. He smoked the whole pack.
Yo, that he said you high right now.
He's like, what is he saying? This man is so lifted, I don't even know what he's saying.
He said, are you alone right now? Bro, I did smoke the whole pack. What?
Like, we're being serious. Like,
oh my God.
The dub, the only reason to watch the dub and watch the show in general is just to see what off the wall shit they came up with. It's only 20 episodes. 20 episodes, 20 minutes each about. It's not a long watch. And watching it out of context does help, but it's like you just find gold randomly. Like sometimes there'll be parts where it's boring, or maybe a joke just won't make sense, because literally a lot of it is just fucking random. But even then, there'll just be parts where it's like, why did you say that? And disclaimer, this show is not for the faint of heart. Like, if you are really offended by like certain word, like FAG, if you're offended by shit like that, like retarded, stuff like that, don't watch it. You're not gonna enjoy it. But if you're a particular kind of degenerate, you're gonna enjoy this show.
And mind you, this show is an equal opportunity offender. So trust me, if you're Jewish, Christian, Black, Asian, it doesn't matter who you are.
If you have a different religion,
they
do not watch if you are sensitive.
Oh,
Lord.
they go in.
If you're LGBTQIA+, like anything, you're gonna be offended. I promise you that this show, doesn't matter who you are, you're not safe from it. You're not safe from it.
The internet is a blessing from the Lord. And then pedophiles and Muslims took it over. I'm like, what? What the fuck?
It's like, what was that, John? It's like, oh yeah, you can use that you can use the scanner for many things, like uploading images, or just uploading images to Jewish boys that looking for hoochie.com. It's beautiful. I love this show. Like, I don't know why, but it gives me like that weird feeling of like, maybe I would watch this on a Saturday morning and it's just like kids doing their random shit. And if it was like the regular sub, I would get that vibe. So that's probably like the only reason I watched it. But it's mainly that dialogue.
I would not watch this around my kids.
No, even around the kid. Like, I ain't gonna lie. There's some episodes that I was like, okay, that's actually kind of a cool ghost design. Like the one that did mimic your voice, and then like it seemed like it straight up killed kids. Like, it was just like, but then the fucking dialogue just ruins like the whole tension. Like, it was like literally the beginning of the scene where the kid was like, oh, it's mom. Usually the pastor keeps her later than this. Like, bro, I know what it's like, I know what the fuck you talking about.
What was it in the tunnel episode when the two construction workers were talking about each other's sisters for like a minute and a half straight? Do y'all
Bro, there
remember
was
that?
so much insult.
They came at each other's sisters crazy for a minute.
Even in the beginning, I think it was two construction guys calling, and he was like, "Oh damn!" And he said something offensive to the driver. He was like, "Damn!" And then he swerved out of a car's way. He was like, "Damn! I hope that could have been like your cousin with no insurance."
Yeah, they were like filling up some tunnels. He's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta go in deep." He's like, "Yeah, like your sister last night," and then they just swap sister jokes. He's like, "Yeah, we gotta pull out that unlike your sister." Bro, they just got going at each other. Like that was part of the episode. Like no main characters, no ghosts, just two guys coming at each other for their sisters, bro. It was insane.
It's perfect. Like the whole dub rewrites the entire main characters because we got main character. We got the chick who has a dead mom who's taking care of the ghost. Her little brother who they just make her a sassy bitch. But the little brother, that man doesn't even have dialogue half the time. It's just
Just saying out of pocket shit.
He's quite literal. Incomprehensible, right? And so I'll put a disclaimer out there. This is literally quoting the show, right? The one girl, she literally calls her younger brother retarded, right? And so their cat, who's like has a ghost that's embodying it, and the little kid goes, he's like, "Wow, your sister's right. You are retarded." I'm telling you, this show just like that, just. No holds barred, like at all. Just comes at everybody's neck.
Another one is like, they were going to save the little brother from that ghost, and the main dude was like, "Wow, it warms my heart to see you go save your little retarded brother." I just fucking died.
Just the way that they trope these characters is insane.
Yeah, because right? Leo, the Jewish kid, they made him a Jewish kid. I don't even think the sub even talks about that. He's just a Jewish boy. You got the main dude who's just a pervert asshole, and the main like girl, the purple hair, yeah, Momoko. I think Momoko. She in the sub is just like a quiet girl, all good, and like just like the generic quiet girl, nice girl. In the dub, she's a hardcore Christian, and every piece of dialogue relates to Jesus in some way. Like somebody will be crying, they'll be like, "The Lord's tears will fill mountains, amen," like or some shit like that. Like she'll just be talking about Jesus all the time.
How you pagans take advantage of things.
Yeah, no, they come at religion crazy. Like the one episode that they said, "Oh yeah, let's all go out for dinner. It's on Leo." He's like, "What? Why me?" They're like, "Oh. What, you just not gonna take us out?" He's like, "Oh yeah, what's the cheapest spot?" Run on that gag,
They all run off. Jews rule. Something like that. I was like, what the hell?
Yo, one of my favorite episodes, it was the episode where the kid was the little brother had like run in something, and like there was like a ghost, like little ghost boy that's running with them, and it's like trying to kill him. But the little brother comes up to the ghost and he's like, "Oh, where are your shoes? Did the Crips rob you too? I got robbed too, and now my dad has to buy them from Payless." I buy my shoes from Payless.
He's not even playing the fact that he said, "Oh, the Crips?" Like,
the Crips robbed my shoes too. And in that same episode, the ghost child is running, and then all you hear is like, I imagine the sub, it was probably like an emotional moment where he's hearing all like the memories of his like dead friend, and then all you hear is "nice ass." Damn, that's a really nice ass. It just ruins the whole fucking scene.
Bro, there was a portion where they were waiting on a train station, and I think the main character, like, they had Jingle Bells playing in like some electro version, and they was like the little boy was talking. He was saying some bullshit. He was like, "I don't care. Does anyone hear Jingle Bells?" And the whole time, each time they reflected, it was just Jingle Bells in the background. Ruined the whole episode for me because now I'm just focused on the music.
Like it's perfect. They just talk about like I remember the main girl was like running with a pole, like, "I'm gonna go see my brother," and then the cat's like, "Oh, don't do it, you stupid bitch." And he's like, and she's like, "Oh, what is wrong with you? And what happened to my leg?" And if you look at her leg, it's like completely bent in half. Like they'll just take jabs at like anime tropes. Like they'll just talk about actors. Like they'll just talk about Bob Marley, David Blaine, like Keanu
There was
Reeves.
whole
Oh yeah, Barbara
references.
Streisand. Like nobody was safe. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a product of its time with the references.
So we gotta talk about the cat real quick, right? So
The best character in this whole show.
You're gonna die horribly in this case forever. Oh man, he's like, I'm glad you're looking on the bright side.
So, have you guys ever watched Disenchanted on Disenchanted on Netflix?
But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That's the one with hi, I'm Elfo, like him
Oh.
and Dean and all that, right? He reminds me of Lucy, right? So Lucy is like this like demon, or like little demon, but like he kind of looks like a cat in the cartoon, and he says some out of pocket shit too. Like he's just like an asshole. That's exactly what this cat is, and it's just so funny. So like their cat ends up Kaya, I think was their cat's
Yeah.
name.
It's
Yeah,
something like that.
ends up getting was it taken over by a ghost in the first episode, right?
Manu
So
Jaku.
yes, and so for the next 19 episodes, this man is Kaya the cat. But when I tell you the biggest dickhead, and it's the funniest things, I forgot which episode it was, but he's like looking down at the kids. He's like, "You four are the ugliest fucking kids I've ever seen." Like imagine getting grilled by a cat like that, bro. It's and so that's the show has a lot of funny lines, right? But the issue is that they cut each other so fast. Like there's
You
not
could tell.
space between them. Yeah. There's no space. So by the time you're done processing one thing, you don't even like laugh because then you're processing the next nonsensical thing. And so that's why like the show is like hindered to me, and I don't think it's as good as people make it out to be, because I'm just like, I don't even get what you're like. I don't even know what direction we're taking this joke right now. It'll be like a quick 2-second punch and immediately switch, right? And then like no breather time for you to process what the fuck you actually just heard.
It reminds me of those old YouTube videos where you'd have like a regular show and someone dubbed over like some dirty version of it where they're just cussing up a storm and like trying to make it as funny as possible. That's what this felt like entirely. It's just when the lines were put in, it was so rough that it doesn't feel natural at all. It literally feels like some YouTuber did it.
This literally is the first, maybe someone did it before, but this is literally like the first abridged series. Like how Dragon Ball abridged, Hellsing abridged, Yu-Gi-Oh abridged. This is like the forefather, but before all today.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it for that. This, like there will never, like I even think the creators say, it's like when we did that final episode, we were sad. We're like, damn, this is really it. This is like, we're not gonna be able to do anything like this ever again. And nothing like this has ever came up.
Never, ever get away with any of these jokes. And I really mean ever. Like we've heard comedians say some wild stuff. Nope. This is crazier. This is crazier. I think the reason it's crazier is because it is coming from kids.
It is.
I think that's the
like
reason
adults.
why it's so crazy to me. Like, is that it comes from kids, just like, but like in a far left field kind of way.
Yeah.
Like it's so like they're talking about sex, BJ. Like there's what the main dude. There's like second episode where he was like, "Man, I can't die yet. The only person I've ever had sex with my babysitter." I'm like, "What?" You know?
Right? He does say that.
It's like South Park physical appeal, but it has like unrestricted Family Guy humor.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I think that's a good way of describing it.
Yeah. It does not care. It doesn't hold bars. That's why I respect it so much, because it's so foul. And I ain't gonna lie, a younger person probably wouldn't get half the damn jokes, because a lot of it is really referential humor from like at the times, especially with like some of the actors that they reference, or some of the music people they reference. Like they reference damn Creed, and they're like, and they like the way it's like, man, I gotta hear this piano ghost, and if I hear 4 times then I'll die. Man, at least it's not Creed. And they're like, what? Scott Stapp is amazing. I'm like, y'all niggas is wrong. Creed sucks.
Yeah, no, this show is crazy. I think it's probably most recognized for the running scene, right?
Yeah, it's like, come on, keep going. Think of a big black man chasing after you.
That's literally how he did it too. He's like, oh.
At least it's not racist. Yeah, oh my God. Like too many quotables in this show. Like the cat, Lord Amanojaku, when it was at, I forget, I think it was like episode like 14 or 15. There was like some chick that was like goading other kids into like doing satanic rituals. And then he was like, oh, the only person that can lay these crystals out is either a ghost or a bitch. And then the ghost comes out. She's like, are you okay? And then he's like, run, it's a ghost. She's a ghost and a bitch. It's so quick, but it's so beautiful. It's so good, so good. And I think my favorite line from that man, it was like the mirror episode and at the end, and he was like, oh, you don't know? This could be the real world. What do you think? Man, I'm messing with your mind, man. And you want to know the best part? I'm not even high, completely sober. Ha 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 ha. Like, it's just a pothead that's just constantly flaming these kids.
I always love the bunny.
Bunny episode is probably the best.
Yeah, they go in these flashbacks, and the bunny's like, touch me. And then it's another flashback, he says, touch me harder.
Touch me harder.
Touch me harder.
It's like, the way he would laugh. Fucking love this show.
I think it was the same episode where they was like, did you smoke the pack? And near the end, he was getting chased. He was like, what's wrong? I'm high and I'm dying.
Okay.
Just little random stuff. I think it was like the main girl, like the one with the orange or red hair or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She was just posted up chilling, and like the little boys walked by. She was like, "Want some candy, little boy?" I'm like, "Huh? What the fuck?"
Like, if you really don't believe us, hit up your favorite pirating site or just go and look up out of context clips on YouTube. But honestly, highly recommend just watch the show from beginning to end. It's like I said, only 20 episodes, 20 minutes each.
Long.
It's not that long. And there's no season 2. It never got a season 2 because niggas hated it back in Japan. But I remember they were saying like, oh, the dub is so good, Japan might reconsider make a season 2. But honestly, nah, leave it as the time capsule that it is.
They was shitting on the Japanese on that one episode. It was like,
You
oh,
right.
he said, oh, it's in Japanese. Straight up speaks Chinese. He was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, he was like, oh, that's Chinese.
He was like, I know the writing's in Japanese, but the color's in red. Do y'all not know what that means? Like,
Yeah, seriously though, this show, it's there's nothing like it. There's quite literally nothing like it. Personally, I'm giving it I'll give it 5 out of 10 because, like I said, if as a whole package, right? So like we're doing all the quotables, all the funny things, but like animation, awful. I'm not gonna
trash.
lie.
Animation is like
You're looking at
booty.
still frames for at least a minute straight in each episode. You know, sometimes it doesn't change like at all, and you know some of the classic stuff of like certain angle, you don't see the lips, you know, move at all, and you know it's just people talking. You know what I mean? Like just some cheap animation
moving
tricks.
but a triangle mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just very, very poor animation. They're like the plot, like
The plot is literally Saturday morning cartoon. What's
Yeah.
the ghost of the week? Oh, it's the potty ghost. Oh, it's the bunny ghost. Oh, it's the creepy bitch. I don't know.
The box
Yeah.
ghost.
The box ghost.
the box ghost.
God damn it.
Yeah, so I give this show a 5 out of 10. The humor, I wouldn't even give that a 10 out of 10 either, but there's certain bites of it that are just so funny, especially out of context or even in context, like that you can't help but laugh at. But yeah, 5 out of 10.
I don't know why I'm just reminded they made the fucking teacher a pedophile. By the end of the episode, on the end of the series, they're like, teacher got arrested for feeling up on Ailia. It's like through the whole series, he's like had these pedophile tendencies, and in the final episode, they finally cap it off. I was like, this man didn't get arrested by now. He should have been.
But this is a solid 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It got me to laugh a little bit, but otherwise, I was bored watching this shit. I was
Yeah,
like, please let it end.
Yeah, and honestly, and half the time it was funny not because the actual joke was funny, but because you're just so dumbfounded by the joke being in the scene that it's in that you're just like, did that?
It's more
It-
shock
what?
humor than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like more like you're
Exactly.
laughing from the absurdity of it, right? And you've heard all the lines that we've quoted. absurd.
And that was the cleaner line.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We didn't even say all
We
the.
did not go in.
Yeah.
If you watch the show, there's a reason why some of them out of context clips don't show the entire thing.
Mhm.
There's a good reason why, because they would get banned. But I see what y'all mean. I ain't gonna lie. I'll 7. I'm a 7. Like there's certain things about
The
it.
humor carries enough for you.
Humor carries it. The vibe, I ain't gonna lie. I'm cool with the vibe. It's fine. Like the Saturday Ghost of the Week. Some of the ghosts were actually kind of cool. Like some of them actually did look pretty creepy.
Some of the designs
Taxi
were actually
Ghost.
good.
Taxi Ghost, that man,
Yep.
the way the man's face just morphed into that decrepit looking ghoulish face. I was like, damn, that's actually, if I saw this as a kid, I'd actually be scared. That'd actually be kind of cool. I'll be bored, but I'd be scared.
Or that little girl that like turns her head 180 and the whole fucking like old woman is there.
Mm-hmm. It's got some moments and a lot of funny stuff. And like, it just depends on the demographic. If you're younger, you might not get all the jokes, but if you're older, you're gonna love it. You're probably gonna love it. And if you really don't care about dark humor,
Yeah. So now we've answered the age-old question: dub versus sub. Dub this one time, and then your preference every other time.
Yes,
because
right.
there's no wrong answer.
It's all subjective at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's the lesson of the day, right, guys? Everything is subjective. Music, anime, everything. So
Subjective.
enjoy what you like. There's no objective opinions. Those don't exist.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Not at all. In fact, our opinions do not matter
Exactly.
at all. At all.
Don't get mad at us because we got a bad opinion.
Yeah. Even though it's right, but
Even though some opinions are objective. Not all of them.
The Samurai Jack theory deserves respect.
It's real.
Stop before you get people raging again. Thank y'all so much for listening and watching. We appreciate y'all so very much. Until next time.
God bless.
Fine.
Remember When is a Sweet Recording production. Check them out at suiterecording.com.
Intro and outro created by our very own Johnny.
Subscribe, listen, and remember to review wherever you are on social media. Thanks for listening.